The sounds of the clapping and fiddles starts to drift away as the lack of sleep takes its toll. I feel the rough edges of rock and dirt. The only thing I can hear is a shower of debris I'm knocking to the ground. The air is stale, and I have the vague feeling that I am suffocating. I keep going. I'm gonna reach the end eventually. Just have to keep moving. I can tell that I'm going down deeper and deeper. The space around me is growing smaller and smaller. And soon, I'm hunched so that my head doesn't scrape the ceiling. I can hear footsteps, not quite in synchrony with my own. They aren't any kind of footsteps that I've heard before, though. I stop. Listen. There's definitely the sound of feet, but not like they're walking. It's like they're stamping down on the ground, making as much noise as possible. This is accompanied by a slapping sound, as if someone is smacking their paws on the ground as well. I imagine a canine toddler still insisting on walking on all fours while throwing a tantrum. It's heavier though, like an adult is doing this. That image makes the nape of my neck prickle, but I'm not scared. It's not long after I've stopped that the noise stops as well, just 10 feet behind me. I turn, watching the darkness. I knew you'd come back. They always do. My voice sounds clogged, muted, like the rocky walls are just sucking up the sound instead of bouncing them down the tunnel. The stamping starts up again, loudly, coming towards me at full speed. Now I can hear sobbing, sniffling, and a strange guttural grunting. It's just feet away. You're only moving in circles. It veers away as the words leave my mouth, going back the way it came. I stand there a while, listening until I can't hear it anymore. I turn and continue on, feeling the walls again as I make my way lower and lower. The smell hits me right as my paws hit it, slick and slippery. Blood coats the walls my paws run along like thick oil. It's warm, fresh, and now I know I'm getting close. A voice abruptly echoes down the tunnel. It's not far away at all. I knew you'd come back. They always do. I make my way closer and closer now. Fear pricks my heart. They always do. I hear muffled screams now, as if someone is yelling with their mouth closed. Now the fur is standing up all over my body, but my feet won't move. I keep going. I'm getting closer and closer. I'm only moving in circles. I'm here. It's right here in front of me, and now I'm reaching out to it. Reaching out to touch it. I can't stop. I can't stop. I jump. My head jerks up and my eyes snap open, looking around wildly. It's like I just came up from being underwater too long. Shit! Whoa! TJ and Carl both jump shortly after I do. I look back and forth as they stare wide-eyed back at me. It takes a second to realize I'm still at Southwest Adventures at the stage watching shows. Jesus fuck, dude, you alright? Carl! I lean forward and rub my face and my paws, trying to stop shaking. I'm fine. Just a really bad dream. I feel a small paw on my back as TJ rubs it. What about? I'm not really sure. Just in a really dark place, and some things were in there. Oh, that does sound pretty creepy. What kinds of things? I think for a minute. The weird crawling thing. The screaming thing. I pull my head up, looking towards the stage, which is empty right now. It doesn't matter. It was just a dream. Hey, what happened to the show? Carl chuckles next to me, leaning back again. You missed them, dude. We've seen like 3 shows. Yeah, they even had a segment with otters doing water tricks. We thought about waking you up for it, but you were in a really deep sleep. That's too bad. I always love seeing my people laughed at for swimming clowns that we are. How long it's been? Carl checks his phone, which he already has out. In about 3 hours. Could probably get some lunch now. Damn. I've been out for a while. I'm surprised I hadn't at least woken up a few times, considering the uncomfortable position I've been in. I guess you feel better then. Yeah, I've been feeling better for the past 2 hours. Now I'm hungry. It's already 2 p.m., and I've composed myself for the most part, so I take out my phone to text Leo. We're kinda hungry. We should meet back up. He gets back to me pretty quickly. Okay, mostly done with the rides anyway. Meet at food court. We meet Flynn at a table in the food court, where he's already bought some pizza. Carl immediately sits down and pries open a box, taking out a few slices. Of course. You guys have fun? It was alright. Watched a few shows about our state's species history. Chase took a nap. Flynn eyes TJ, who doesn't say anything as he sits to take out his own slice of pizza. A bit more daintily than Carl had. Built better, Tej? Yeah. TJ nibbles on his slice of cheese pizza. Yeah, well, the pizza here is a hell of a lot scarier than any of the rides, so you're braver than I am. Where's Leo and Jenna? Flynn rolls his eyes and nods towards a row of carnival games to the right of the court. Fighting. They've been playing those games for a fucking half hour already. I'm not surprised. I grab my own slice of pizza and a napkin and make my way over there. Keeping with the theme of the Old West, the carnival section of the park is decked out with fake saloons and brothels. I spot them pretty quickly. Leo's holding a pink unicorn, Jenna's carrying a green dragon. They seem to be in pretty good spirits, though Leo's grin is a little tight. Looks like a pretty successful haul, you guys. Hey, Chase! Jenna's grinning, looking a little smug as well. You guys finished? We're eating now. Leo shifts the giant unicorn around. Yeah, we're pretty much done, I think. Damn, Leo, you must have won something pretty hard to get that. Yeah, that was me. I look over at the green dragon Jen is holding. But what about that? Yeah, I won this too. Well, I'm sure you've won a couple? Actually. Yeah, I've beaten him at every game. Yeah, you're visiting. I want your memories of this vacation to be good. Obviously, it's getting to your head, though. No, please. Chase, you should have seen this face. Sour grapes the whole time. Oh, really? I would usually stay out of stuff like this. Leo always got a little carried away when it came to competition, especially when I was around. But it was kind of funny seeing him act like this. Let's just go eat.
Wait, there's a high striker. Why don't we go show Chase who's stronger, huh?
Leo contemplates for a second, but seems pretty confident about this one. He's literally almost twice the size of Jenna. I don't know if it's a very fair game for you, Jenna. I mean... He lets that sit, and honestly, I have to agree. Jenna, though, gets a little fox gleam in her eyes that I knew meant she knew something we didn't.
Afraid I'm going to woo your ex?
Wow, Jenna's going all out. My muzzle flashes under the fur, but that only seems to decide things for Leo. A confident smile replaces the sheepish one from before. Oh yeah? He flexes his shoulder and sticks out the stuffed unicorn to me. I stuff the last of the crust to my mouth and reach out to take it. Jenna does the same thing, and I'm hugging two massive stuffed animals to my sides, tripling my girth. Alright, let's do this. Step right up, test your strength. $3, 3 tries, ring the bell and win a prize. I'd like to try. And we have a taker. Big strong wolf like you would have no problem at all. $3, please. Leo hands over the money, and the carney hands him a mallet. Leo points at me with a grin. This one's for you, chula. My heart skips a beat. He hasn't called me that in a while. But I decide to play along. Don't disappoint me, Leo. I really want that stuffed griffin. I point to the griffin on the carney's top long shelf of toys. Sure thing. Leo spreads his legs and squares his shoulders before raising the hammer, bringing it down hard on the rubber-looking pad. It's a pretty hard hit, but the chaser only rises up to the 40 mark. Oh, almost. Sorry, Wolf. Try again. Leo's brow furrows, and now I'm not so sure this was a good idea. He raises the mallet again and grunts as he brings it down even harder, causing the contraption to shake a little bit. This time, the chaser shoots up to the 70 mark. Even better! This time, put your back into it! I can hear Leo growling a little as he raises the mallet the final time and brings it down with a snarl, all the muscles in his arms standing out. I'm pretty sure I feel the ground shake this time as the impact causes more than a few heads to turn. This time the chaser only goes up to the 60 mark. Leo gapes at the game. So close. For $3 more will get you 3 more tries. Would you like to try again?
Nope, my turn.
Jenna already has her money ready and hands it to the carney. Ho ho! A little battle between the sexes, eh? Well, step right up, my fair fox maiden. How will you fare against the big bad wolf? Leo reluctantly hands the mallet to Jenna. Alright, bet 70. Jenna points the mallet at me, winking.
Don't worry, Chase. I'll get that griffin for you.
Leo snorts loudly, folding his arms and looking pretty annoyed. Good look. I was hitting that thing as hard. Before he can finish, Jenna raises the mallet into the air and puts it into a graceful swing, as if she were chopping wood as she brings it down hard into the rubber mallet. It lands precisely and cleanly in a sharp contrast with Leo's sloppy hits. I stare. Leo stares. The carney stares. Jenna simply raises her paws in the air. Yay! A few onlookers around us laugh and cheer. Ho ho! My! The fair fox has won! Come over and pick your prize! He glances at Leo. Sorry, buddy. The feline shoots a sympathetic, but also amused smile Leo's way before turning onto the onlookers. See that? A female fox, half the size of this male wolf, has rung the bell. Could one of you be next? Leo looks mortified, but quickly changes expression to a sheepish grin. He doesn't seem to want to look at me. Good job, Gina. Gina bounds back to us carrying the big stuffed griffin.
Give those ones to Leo, so I can give you this.
I hand off the stuffed toys to Leo, who grumbles a bit as he takes them. Dumb things rigged. Jenna hands me the griffin. Thanks, Jenna. That was really... She leans over and pecks me on the cheek. I see Leo's eyes widen as she does it. His ears standing up straight.
Oh, it was nothing.
Leo stands there for a few more seconds, working his jaw. Awesome. He turns away and leaves, his arms still wrapped around the giant stuffed toys. Jenna starts laughing. Jenna!
Oh, hush, he'll get over it. It's just so damn fun to tease.
I have to agree, but not when I'm being used to do the teasing. He's still really sensitive about the thing.
You guys talked it over, didn't you? Anyway, aren't you gay?
I take a deep breath. Not really. I mean, yeah, obviously I liked Leo, but I've liked girls too.
Oh, interesting.
I sigh and rub my eyes with a paw, still a little tired.
Hey, don't tell Leo that I work at the state fair every year.
Wasn't planning on it. Rest of the day is pretty relaxing. We ride a few of the more mellow rides. Leo seems to cheer up when I volunteered to sit next to him on the Ferris wheel. TJ even built up his courage to the point where he rode the swinging ship. Flynn and Carl rode the slingshot together, and with the video feed from the ground, I think it's the first time I've ever seen Flynn scared. Carl did end up barfing after that one. By about 6 p.m., everyone's tired enough that we agree to head back. I'm still exhausted, so I sleep for a half hour it takes to get back to the motel. When we do get back, I notice how the sun looks right now. With a sigh, I remind myself that I'm actually here to get a project done, not just play around. So as everyone sits in the motel, I let them know I'm about to go shoot some B-roll, gathering up my equipment, heading out into the heat. Dragging it outside, I set it up, sweating even under the evening light. Even this late in the day, the heat was pissing me off. For some reason, it's a lot cooler in Pueblo. My mind drifts back to the many days of summer and the blazing heat, the temperature rarely dipping below 100. I'm amazed poor TJ never had a heat stroke. When I put my eye to the viewfinder, I'm a bit disappointed at how broken down the town looks, even with the amazing backdrop. What a dump.
We'll say.
It's then that I hear footsteps and talking behind me. I pause my recording and look around. How's the fuming? It's alright. Kind of ran out of sun, but it's okay. Echo looks like crap no matter what kind of light you shoot it in.
Do you need us to keep quiet?
Nah, I'm just shooting B-roll. I was about to come back in. Let's stay out here a minute. Carl and Flynn are getting a little loud. Besides, I want to talk to you too. He wraps an arm around Jenna and reaches out with the other one to pull me in so we're both flanking him. I feel my shoulder press into the warm bulk of his side and chest. He'd always been taller than me. My eyes barely came up to his chin, but now it seemed like he was almost twice as wide. He definitely put on more muscle since I last saw him. While he was always pretty muscular, he'd been more on the lean side. Now his chest and biceps pulled his shirt tight. It felt nice though, like something very sturdy wrapped in velvet. I suppose it was a mixture of adding on both muscle and fat. I'm at least happy to see he's gotten over his little defeat to Jenna. Look at us, the OG crew. Leo's strong voice vibrates from his body into mine. The effect is tranquilizing, and I feel myself relax.
Together again.
The only thing I miss about this town. Leo is referring to the fact that he, Jenna, and I were the original 3-in-a group of 6 to become friends. Later we would add TJ, then Carl, and finally Flynn and Sydney. Leo had really been the one to unite us all.
I remember when you first got here, everyone was afraid of you.
I remember when I got here and I found a bunch of gringos who wouldn't even talk to each other. We all went to the same schools in Peyton and had our different friends there. When Leo moved in, he thought it was strange that the kids in Echo didn't hang out together. As I entered middle school and high school, I cycled through a ton of different friends, but the ones in Echo always stayed the same. Remember when we'd always have sleepovers at Jess's place?
Of course, I kick your ass at Claws of Fury all the time.
I remember. I used to think you guys were only friends with me for my video games. Many times I've fallen asleep to the flickering of the old CRT television set, watching the outlines of Jenna and Leo twist side to side as they played. I would wake up hours later only to find them still playing. It was weird. Jenna and Leo always get along really well, but there is a bit of a competitive streak between the two. Actually, it's one of the few things that gets Leo genuinely angry. I think he even broke one of my controllers once. How long has it been since we first met?
Well, when did you move in?
I think it was in 2000. So, take 2015 and subtract 1000. What does that leave you with, Leo? Leo looks sideways at me and smirks. There's a flash of white canine as it appears from under his lip for a moment. You think yourself a real hot shot now that you're in college, eh? I smirk back, though I know my canines aren't as impressive. Pretty much, yeah. Well, you'll always be those little brats to me. I feel Leo's wagging tail swat me in the butt. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Speaking of which, are you two getting along over there? Jenna looks at me around Leo's broad chest.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, we haven't had many chances to hang out. Eh? Why not?
Well, it's college. It's also a pretty large university. I don't even think we've ever seen each other in passing.
Yeah, things are different, but Jenna, we should do something together soon before you graduate.
Definitely.
Leo still looks a little disappointed that me and Jenna aren't keeping up at university, but I don't know why. She had her friends, I had mine, and we did talk sometimes. Jenna nudges into Leo, causing us all to sway.
And speaking of that, when are you going back to Mesa?
Mesa's community college in Peyton. Leah went there for a few semesters before taking a break. And by break, I mean he quit. We'll see. I have to talk to my parents. It's just starting to get really busy.
Why don't they hire more people? You would have graduated by now. You would have had your master's by now.
Leo sighs. It's about committing to the family business, not the help he needs. Jenna rolls her eyes, blowing out some air and ruffling the tuft of fur on her head.
Wolves and their families. You should try thinking and speaking for yourself sometime. If I hadn't done that, I'd still be stuck in that crank house.
Jenna flicks her head vaguely in direction of where she used to live. Jenna's the only one, aside from Carl, who has family still living in Echo. I wonder if she's going to visit them, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to that. I see Leo tighten his arm around her shoulder, but she goes on without missing a beat.
And you could start with our otter here.
I look up, caught unawares. Huh? What? Gina.
I'm serious.
Jenna puts her paw up in Leo's face, cutting him off.
I am not going to spend this entire week with you asking me when or how you should do it. Let's rip off the band-aid now. Chase.
Jenna! There's a warning tone in Leo's voice as he pins back his ears and drops his arms from our shoulders. I already know what's happening. It's been a long time coming. I take a step back and fold my arms, looking to the side.
Chase, Leo has some things to say to you, and yes, it's about that. Now I'm going to head back in and make sure Carl didn't light up in the bathroom.
Jenna! His tone changes to exasperation as Jenna turns on her heel and leaves. Judging by the curl in her tail, I can tell she's pretty satisfied with what she's just done. I return my attention to the road. I couldn't really bring myself to look at him right now. We both stand there for a minute, 3 feet apart. I hear Leo scuff the ground with his foot, and sniff as dust rises from the ground. I hear him draw in a breath a few times, as if he's going to say something, but ends up blowing it out with a sigh. We were never good at this. Probably why it ended up feeling like it did. Leo. I'm sorry, Chase. For what? Not talking to you about this when I should have. Talking to Jenna when I should have been talking to you. He reaches out and sets a paw on my shoulder, the silver anchor on his wrist glinting just a bit in the fading light. He's smiling at me, but I grit my teeth. Why are you still wearing that? His eyes flicker from the bracelet, then back to my face, expression turning defensive. Why aren't you still wearing yours? Don't you remember what we said? I sigh, looking at the scattering of clouds behind Leo's head. They're tinged with a soft pink from the fading sun. The sunset is almost the same color as Leo's fur. Leo, we were teenagers. That's not an answer! He cuts me off and I look back at him. I told you, they weren't love bracelets. They weren't just about our relationship. They were about everything. Our friends, family, memories. Echo. I raised my voice above his, cutting him off this time.
They were about Echo, Leo. We stand there a while, and Leo's looking closely at me, expectantly, his ears tipped forward. His eyes pierced me like amber shards. It was always hard to look at him in the eye during our arguments. What? Do I have to say it? Alright, fine. I fucking hate this place. Everything about it. It's the most miserable goddamn place I've ever been. How many places have you ever been? Enough to know that it's miserable. Most everyone here's old, obese, on welfare. Half of them are probably on meth. Leo pulls in a deep breath and blows it over my head. I can smell the bell peppers on his breath. No one likes it here, Chase. I mean, it was an anchor. Half laughing. Just looking at it made me feel like I was still tied to this town. I didn't need it reminding me of all that awful stuff. I know it was supposed to symbolize our being each other's rocks or whatever, but it stands for a lot more than that. But a lot of good things happened here too. No one should forget where they come from. Sometimes I wish I could. At this point, Leo's deflated a bit, going into a slouch, his ears lowered. Wait, you said was. You didn't get rid. No, I still have it. It's in a drawer in my dorm room. Honestly, if it was anything else, like one of those infinity bracelets we saw, I wouldn't have trouble wearing it. Well, fuck. Why didn't you say anything when we were buying them? I didn't know it was gonna be a problem. Leo takes in a deep breath again before blowing it out, puffing his cheeks this time. Puchiko-otter. He puts a paw to his eyes and holds it there for a few seconds. It's a pose I'm pretty familiar with. Even though I haven't seen it in a few years, I'm hit with a wave of memories. Mostly me frustrating or embarrassing Leo somehow. We decided on the anchors mostly because they looked pretty. Leo had referenced some wolf metaphor about roots and how we're all always drawn back to them. Also some bullshit about how otters are great sailors, but really it was just aesthetic. For some reason over the years I'd begun to associate the anchor with being stuck in Echo. It was when I started connecting the anchor to Sydney that I'd taken it off. It was too much. Anyway, Leo brings me back to the present and I focus back on him. What I was trying to say was that I'm still not okay with how you left. Leo, I said I was sorry, and I still am. Or how you stopped talking to me for a while. Okay. I was a kid. I thought I had a good tactic, like Jenna said, rip off the band-aid, you know? We did start talking again. It was more like you punching me in the gut than kicking me in the balls. The problem was that it didn't give me any chance to say anything. At least tell me why you broke it off. I stay silent for a while, then finally look up, setting my jaw. Like I said, I was young and dumb. I didn't know how to handle it. I can keep apologizing, or we can move on, make the most of this. We only have 1 week, and I want to have fun. Leo looks to the side, paws on hips, as if contemplating, then looks at me with a smile. Alright, fine. But don't think you're off the hook. I still want to talk soon.
Soon. Just not right now. I stand there awkward for a few moments. Then, because it feels appropriate, I step in to give him a hug. He takes it willingly, and he's warm and strong. For a moment, I wonder why the hell I dumped this guy. Just then, someone lays on the horn as they drive past us, pulling me out of my reverie. Bargs! I lean back so I can watch the car speed down the empty road. Leo keeps holding me, though, and he just chuckles. Ickle hasn't changed much, has it? No, it hasn't. As we're saying our goodbyes, I remind Leo about the shots I need to take of the lake. He says he'll talk to the other two about it after they leave. We all say our goodbyes before Leo, Carl, and Flynn take off. TJ takes his usual hour getting ready for bed while Jenna does some schoolwork. By the time I'm finished brushing my teeth, I'm grateful to see them both in bed. I get under the covers next to TJ and lay there for about an hour, staring at the ceiling. Slowly, slide from under the covers, careful not to wake TJ. Quietly, I slip my jeans on and grab